really short video on this because not that you guys asked, but I kind of want to talk about. I don't understand why people feel like it. Okay, so I'm talking about the Deliverance movie, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to see what Monique did in the movie. But from the covers, it looked like a black angry woman. So I don't know. I don't know if was Precious not enough? Like I don't really want to see angry people on TV all the time. There's already so much going on. But anyways, I'll try to remember what I said in my other video. Oh, by the way, good morning, hello, good afternoon. I I tried to watch this movie, a little bit of it last night. Sorry while I adjust. um, and I was like, there was so many things that didn't make sense to me. Like the house looking like it was looking. Yes, everybody's tired, but I never saw, at least from what I saw, I never saw anybody going to work. Saw the kids going to school one time, and at least the kids' uniform looked fresh, looked like they were washed, ironed, looked very nice. But the rest of the time, everybody looked like they were still wearing clothes from slavery days, full of sweat and dirt. Meanwhile, Miss Grandma looking like she just pulled her stuff off the rack. Dry clean, her wig looked nice and crispy. Even the black wig. I was like, who's that? When she put the black wig, I'm like, who's a new character? A new white lady? No, it was her. And I was like, oh, she has cancer. Oh, okay. That's why they lived together. But the way that they talked to each other at the table, I was like, and she's sniffing her. Like, why? Why? They would have been better off starting off the movie when they were younger, showing what the heck happened and how, and then now, why she's so angry and this and that. Chris, yeah, it was like you could tell. I mean, I used to do that to some of my wigs, like put gel in it, dry it. You do the thing with the scrunchie with the blow dryer, and then it'll come out like Crispies, like the crispy fries. Um, but yeah, it just didn't make sense. So then, the mom goes, which I would have done. If my kid got bullied, like I was in somebody's face, like get your mama, get your aunt, whatever, because you're gonna learn today to leave my babies alone. Um, but luckily, um, well, my oldest did get bullied in Florida, unfortunately, but he didn't tell me until after we moved out of Florida. We moved back to Seattle, and I was so mad because they took his DS, and I was like, what? His games. And I think he might have liked one of them, so he was, in his eyes, he was giving it to them, to her. But either way. Hello, hello, Cat and Marlon. That makes me a little nervous, Marlon. But, yeah, so they're cursing each other out in front of the kids. The kids look sad. Then I'm like, why does the house look so dark? Like, they don't have a light bulb for the kitchen to make it look normal? And why does everything look like so thrown about? It looks like a big house. Why are the kids sleeping in one room? Which is it's fine. It's fine. In the DR, I used to sleep with my cousin. We shared a big bed. It was like a king size or queen size. I don't know. It was huge, and we were little. I was 5 or 6, 7, and she was probably like 8 or 9 or 10. So I understand sharing beds, sharing a room, whatever. My kids did it for a while. So that was the next thing. Then the thing with the flies. What was that about? I'm thinking to myself, is there a dead body? Why doesn't she go downstairs and check? And then I'm thinking, the first time the door opened by itself, that would have been it for me. I would have nailed that door shut, or I would have I mean, I know they didn't have money to get an exterminator, and they didn't have maintenance because I guess she owns the house. But I'm like, okay, obviously this is something significant because she sees the flies outside going down the stair things, and she sees the flies coming out the door. So I'm like, do they have a dead body down there? Like, what's going on? I was so confused. And, the cool part was for me that I could relate. I have seen this in my family where one person does the other person's hair and that person is doing some. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I seen that. If you know my story, I was in different foster cares and went to 3 different families. So I got to see a little bit of Puerto Rican family dynamic. I got to see my third family was a black family, the Hightowers. And yeah, so, and then in that building, I did see a family. We lived in the 5th floor. There was a family that I got along with. Um, I think the girl was like high school age. I was in middle school. But either way, I did see that. So I was like, oh, yeah, that does happen where people do their hairs like that. But then the daughter gets mad because her phone is cracked. I was like, I wish I would have complained to my mom about a damn phone. You better take what you be glad you have one. As broke as they were, as they seemed to want to be made in this movie, that they couldn't even afford light in the house. Everything was dark and dingy and looked like it hasn't been cleaned in years. But the grandma had crispy, nice wigs and brand new clothes, looking like they just cut the tags off and yeah, put this on, sexy mama. And then she goes to her chemo. Now I don't know too much about cancer and the different stages. Luckily, thank God that the people that I've known that got diagnosed with cancer did, what they had to do, the chemo, the treatment, and then they beat it. And then, so I have never been into like a radiation place, or I mean, I've gotten tested, so I've seen people, and nobody has energy to cake on their face. Like her eyes were like this shut because they put so much makeup on that lady's face, and it's like, is that how they see? Like, there are white people that are hip and whatever you want to call it. 'Cause I'm telling my age by saying hip, but that were down, and that, it was like, okay, I know what I know, and they like Black D, and they have black kids, and They show that they're not prejudiced or racist or whatever in neighborhoods, some neighborhoods. Um, but the whole makeup and like she never had no makeup on. I'm like, I never saw a chemo patient that had the energy. Cause even me as dealing with my sickness, I can't do all that every day. Like I don't have the energy. So I could definitely understand, like, from what I've known and from what I hear people talk about, is that the more you do chemo, the less energy you have, especially by the time you're down to losing your hair. And she's eating at the table. Most of them lose their appetite. I'm not sure if all. So a lot of the stuff, I'm like, either I just have a different perspective, a different view on what a chemo patient looks like or acts like or could even do. Like she wouldn't have energy to argue like that. And the way that they cuss each other out in front of them kids, I was embarrassed for the kids. I'm like, oh my God, get the babies, cover their ears. Like I'm weird like that. Even to this day, when my sisters or anybody visits that cusses a lot, or I'm like, I look at my kids, I'm like, I'm sorry. Or they're playing music that has a, I'm like, I try to play the clean versions. Now you can't even find the dang clean version. Even the clean versions be like letting out the whole word and just bleeping out the end. It's like, well, I heard what you said. But either way, I felt bad for the kids. And then I'm like, the kids went to school one time. I'm from the Dominican. Yeah, somebody asked me. MW Mawana. Oh, you guys are gonna make me. Okay, I have dyslexia, so I can't read everybody's name. Bibiana. Bibiana. Ariella. Uh, oh, can you say hi, Jeremy? Who's Jeremy? Oh, you just wanted me to say somebody's name. Okay, don't distract me, guys, but keep talking. I'm not going to look down. So, okay, so they went to school and the kids, yeah, that's normal. A bum ass kid that don't go to school. The mom don't care if they're good or not or whatever. They might care, but they're at work. There's a lot of that in the hood, where the mom and the dad are working so much, they leave the oldest in charge. And if the oldest is trash, doesn't take care of or doesn't, take care of business, then this is coffee, guys. Not haven't had a drinky drink in a while. Well, actually Sunday because I went out, but um, yeah, so that scene is believable. Like you're a protective mom. You're gonna defend your babies. You're gonna go mess somebody up over your baby. Now I haven't kicked anybody in the middle, but my mouth was big enough to scare off whatever. But the funny thing is, my kids haven't got bullied to that level where people are throwing stuff at them and this and that. But believe it or not, people try to bully me. Just because, like, you see me in the street, I'm quiet. Unless I know you, I don't talk. Oh my God, Eastern what? Africa? You watching from Eastern? Where did you come from? Where did? Okay. I was born in the DR, raised in New York, been in Seattle since 95. So Sea Dog is asking, where are you from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Okay. But anyway, so in some of the neighborhoods in New York that I lived, like I bounced around from Manhattan to different parts of the Bronx, then different parts of Manhattan. So I seen different people, different type of people, but yeah. So that part, that's the only part, the braiding part, and the part where the mom was defending her boy. That those parts made sense. Then we get to like the flies and it's like, okay, so they're trying to hint that there's something in the basement. Ooh. It's like, okay, well, is somebody gonna go check? Like me, I would have grabbed my hammer, but obviously she knows what's down there. She's just not telling us. So that goes over, and it's like, I don't like unanswered questions in movies. Like, that's why I like Lifetime. Like, you know what the heck is going on, you know what's gonna happen. I used to like Murder She Wrote when I was younger because I'm like, ooh, who done it? Who did it? But there was a pattern. There was a, like, I like that they always made it seem like it was somebody that wasn't. So okay, my brain can handle that. I was so frustrated with this movie. I'm like, this doesn't make no sense. Why is the house so dingy? There's so many people in the house. They don't have chores. Like, and if the lady was so tired, where was she getting her money? Like, was she working? Was she on disability? Was she living off the grandma's disability? But the grandma couldn't afford chemo, which a lot of people can, unfortunately. It's like, it's so fun. That's a whole nother conversation. So I was like, okay, the grandma's going to chemo looking fresh. I was like, dang, every time you see her, she got brand new stuff, caked up, brand new makeup, liner. Like, I'm like, why are they making her eyes so tiny with the liner just being so thick? Is that what they think? Like, if you actually go to any type of neighborhood that have a mixture of people, not just white and black, mixture, there's Spanish, there's this and that, you'll see everybody, but nobody walks around like that. You know how many times she would have got mugged wearing all that jewelry around broke people? What? No, people gotta eat. So that didn't make no sense to me. I was like, okay, Lee Daniels, like, I see why people were dragging you. It's kind of giving a lot of Tyler Perry type. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe Tyler Perry gave it to him to trick Monique to work for him without knowing she's working for him. Since her and Lee Daniel made up, but not Tyler Perry. Because it was really like, did Tyler Perry write this? Yeah, DR stand up. Hey, hey, are you Dominican too? Joan, okay. But yeah, so she went to chemo. She was flirting with a little boy. And I was like, that's disgusting. Okay, fine. You like Black D. We get it. You had a black daughter. Maybe even more. Who knows? But the black man said, oh, hey, sexy. They would not be doing that. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I come from New York where the fee and all that mess. I hated it. I hated it. Because I'm not a dog. Like, don't call me over. I'm supposed to be like, hey, daddy, what you want? Because you fee at me. You whistle at me. No. So I was always against that type of stuff. Like, Even as a little kid, I just thought it was doggish. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was disrespectful. Like, what? And I couldn't believe that women fell for it. Like, they fell flatter, like, me? Oh, yeah. Uh, you like these white jeans that show off my ass? Well, of course. You know, I don't know. It's just that whole behavior thing. I don't know. That's why sometimes I'm like, I must be out of this world. I must be an alien because some of the stuff that was norm used to get on my nerves, even at 9 years old, 8 years old. And the thing is, I never saw that in the DR. Like, people flirted with appropriate ages, or they knew if a 15-year-old was a hoe, then they knew that that was a hoe. They didn't mess with, like, I never felt that from my people in the DR. I lived there, I was born there, I lived there until I was almost 8. You get to New York, you hear all these pervs, all these. It's like, oh my god. But that was when I was a teenager. Anyways, so the guys, and I'm like, why is she stopping though? Is that what she liked? Skinny looking crackhead guys? Like, they had to put skinny looking crackhead guys. They couldn't just put like nice dress, well, gentlemen outside. Be like, hey baby, respectfully flirting, mindful, demure. Um, okay, fine. So she gets in. I don't even see her check in. I guess it's not important to the movie. So she goes. The next scene is she's getting chemo. She's getting hooked up by I forget. Don't get me to say any of these people's name. I know their faces and I know that they're actors and I've seen most of the stuff that this guy's been in. He's been in the Boys in the Hood and a whole bunch of Ice Cube movies. But so he's a good actor. And there was some black ladies across from her. Again, everybody else looks like they're coming up to do chemo up in there. She looking like she going to the club. Like, she got her hair, she got her kicked down makeup on, her eyeliner, her jewelry. Like, everything looked like it was taken out of the wrapper and put on her by them people. So I was like, okay, I don't know how that works, but are you supposed to go with all that jewelry and all that? Okay, fine. But for him, like, I thought that he was gonna go around to all the ladies and flirt, and there's nothing wrong with a young male nurse or a young woman nurse flirting, not flirting, but just kind of trying to uplift um, the patients. I mean, I know that they are there for a long time. Well, I do know that. I have friends and that have, gone through that process, and thank God they beat cancer. But um, I don't know, like, at the stage that she was at, where she lost all her hair and this and that, I'm just like, would she have energy, first of all, to walk by herself, to get dressed the way she does? You just kind of want to put something on. When you're sick, you just want to put something quick on. If you put on wig on, okay, but you don't have, like, how much energy it takes when you're sick to do all that makeup? And I know production did it or whatever, but still, you're trying to pretend like this is real life. So if this was real life, she would not be looking like that. And if this was real life, if the daughter was somehow scraping and scratching to pay her for her chemo, there's no way that she would have all that jewelry. I, I would have been like, Mom, we need money to pay the bills. And if, you're staying here, I'm helping you out, whatever it is, we need help. But I know that daughters seem to be more prideful than I would be, I guess. Anyway, so the flight thing kept confusing me. Like, I'm like, either somebody go check to see what the heck is down there, or I don't know. Like, what's going on? Do you have a dead body down there? Why didn't you take it to a field somewhere? Like, I was just confused. And I had to cut it off when I saw an older man come into the daughter's room, because I was like, okay, I don't seen this scene too many times. Lifetime and some other movies. I can't take it. If you don't know my story, I was sexually molested by my dad, so I don't do good with those type of scenes. Um, so I'm like, okay, that explains. When I did see her wake up from that, I was like, okay, that makes sense why she's so angry at the mom. Because maybe she did tell her, like, hey, your boyfriend or my dad or whatever is doing such and such. And she probably was like a lot of people do. Unfortunately, in those situations, a lot of people, oh, you just lying, oh, you just jealous, or da 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 da. Now, I didn't, I didn't get that because I didn't tell my stepmom. I just told a friend that kept calling the cops on her parents, and I figured she would know what to do because I didn't know what to do. Now I got that later. Like, there was one or two times that I felt like, even though I was a child, my stepmom, I was an adult when I went back around my family, but I remember one time having piercing eyes at me. I was dancing, and I can hear people's thoughts like, oh, if her dad did that, how come she can dance with him? How come da da da? Just like anything in life, you try to figure it out while you can. I was trying to figure out if that's what forgiveness looked like. It's just, I didn't want to lose my whole family because of this. But, anyways, getting back to the movie, I thought that, something happened. Then the son goes to the basement and never comes out. And I'm like, okay, they only had school one day. Why didn't she notice that her son wasn't there for dinner, wasn't there the next morning? Did they go to school? Why was there such a long period of time where she didn't see all her kids? I don't know where they were, but we didn't see nobody. But I definitely would have noticed, like, hey, where's John John or whatever I don't remember the character's name. But the little baby, the little kid, the little one. I was like, why aren't they noticing that he's missing? And from one of the covers, it looks like she's carrying her youngest. So I'm like, okay, that must have meant that whatever was in the basement killed him. I don't. So, I don't know. I don't know. It just, nothing about it. Oh, getting back to the chemo scene, the ladies across are talking loud too. I'm like, damn. I was waiting for the white lady to say something. The character, excuse me, that would never. First of all, people of color got too much mouth to be shut down by a white person like that. There, unless you're a cop, And even then, some of us might still get smart. So the fact that they were like, I was like, what? Ancient mamas? And we're not in slavery days. Like, that didn't make no sense that they weren't able. I would have been like, yes, I'm talking about you because you over there shamefully flirting with a person that could be your son or your grandson. That's a matter of fact. That's disgusting. Yes, you're disgusting. We're here to get treatment. We're not here to hear all that. I would have pulled my curtain, plugged in my headphones somewhere. Nah, you're not gonna shush me. So I thought that that was interesting that Lee Daniel had all the black characters looking homely or homeless almost, and then the white or light skinned characters look like they have fresh clothes. Even the checkout person, I don't remember if they look like they could be Spanish or, but they were light skinned, so they looked like they had on uniforms that were pressed. But everybody else around the neighborhood, like there was nobody that was like doing well in the neighborhood. Like that's a lie, because you always see a family that actually gets along, that help each other out, that have a good yard or something. So, well, at least from what I've saw, maybe some parts of Chicago I hear that could be like that. Some parts of New York could be like that. But even my first foster home, I lived across the street from a project, and I didn't even see people looking like that. Um, Everybody took pride in what they had on, like they washed their face, washed their ass. So yeah, but that was the end for me. I couldn't watch anymore, so I didn't get to see. I was kind of sad that I didn't get to see the Monique part. I really wanted to see what she was about to do. And then the other actress that's in the little four square um, advertisement thing. But yeah, it just felt like there was two or three movies piled on and made one. Um, Too many stories being told and not finished in a scene. So I was like, are we meant to be doing this? Like, what's going on? What? That was my whole face. Like, huh? What? What she say? I was like, okay, now I see what people are doing. But you know what? Like, I thought about it. If I didn't hear, I thought to myself after I turned off the movie, I said, okay, if I didn't hear what people were saying about the movie, would I still have a negative view on it? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Because the white lady with the broke daughter, and I don't know. Unless she just like Black D and she's still racist. Because people think, oh no, she's been around black people all her life. She's not racist. She's not prejudiced, or he's not. Yeah, there's people that could still be judging the hell out of you and looking down at you. They could still like the Black D or the Black P, but doesn't mean that they still don't think that they're better than you, or they, you know. So, and there are people that are really, really down and advocate. I mean, if it wasn't for people that stepped out of and spoke against their own race, who knows? We might still be in slavery. I don't know. Like, there was a lot of people that had to come and join forces with people of color. So I know both sides. I'm not ignorant But I still don't let that fool me. Like, if you talk to people of color a certain way, I'm going to be like, okay, you just as bad as, you might be worse because you're pretending. Like, I can't stand a pretender. Don't pretend to be cool and be down like them people that be like, yeah, I got black friends, I got Asian friends, I got, it's like, that doesn't make you not prejudiced or not racist. And it's not just white people that do it. Black people do it too. My dad was hella, like, they say, oh, if you're of color, you can't be racist. No, I feel like my dad is hella racist. He made some horrible comments even after he had two black mixed grandkids. Right in front of me, he called a baseball player a monkey. My husband was Haitian next to me. Luckily, he didn't speak Spanish or he didn't understand Spanish to know that my dad was calling the person on the TV a monkey. And so now he has three mixed kids, grandkids, granddaughter, two grandsons, and my other sister looking like she got married a Haitian too. So you got to be careful what you push your kids into because you're trying to push them away from just because your views are messed up and this and that. So that's just all I got from that movie. I didn't like I didn't like that they were kind of uplifting the white grandma. Meanwhile, everybody else was struggling. Like, there's no way. There's no way that she could walk out of her house with all that jewelry, looking. I feel like they made her look whiter than what she is. Maybe I wonder if they had full on makeup or on the arms, and I don't know. It definitely looked like it was like, you know how when you put wet makeup and then dry makeup, or dry makeup and wet makeup, and it kind of kicks on because it's old. That's what it looked like. She had old makeup, and then they try to fill in the cracks with or wet makeup, and then it just looked like she had an extra skin full of makeup. Or maybe they did a mask, like, you know how they, when people are being transformed into monsters, they do like the mask, like the gel stuff. Because her cheeks, I don't know, it's just, the whole thing looked like her whole face looked weird. And in real life, she's not that ugly. So I didn't get that. So yeah, the movie, I was like, oh, I'm so glad that we're able to know and hear about the reviews before we go waste money in the theater. And did everybody leave? Say hi if you're still here. I know the talk got deep, but yeah, I don't know. Well, if nobody says anything, I'm about to hop off. I did record a video, but my poor little cat has asthma, and she was having an asthma attack. So I had to stop recording, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go live. So that way I don't have to worry about, oh, I only got 15 minutes to record left on my phone. And then if she did have an asthma attack, I can just mute myself and go help her. But luckily, I opened the window, I turn on the air. So I don't know. I guess we can't turn on the heater in the living room because it blows hot air. That affects her. So we're going to have to do something else because I can't have my baby have asthma every time I get cold. Now, the winter is coming. And if you know anything about Seattle, Like right now, it's a Seattle day. It's gray. It looked like it rained sometime during the night. It's not raining now, or maybe it's like misty. It's just like you go outside, you might get a little wet if you're outside for a long time, but you can run out, run in, and it's just like, okay, just a little. But, but yeah, did you guys watch The Deliverance? I think that's how you say it. What did you guys think about it? I never was into, like, I didn't watch Emma Stodd and um, all these slavery movies because I almost feel like they're trying to program you into, like, you see, that's what happened to you. And I know some people look at it as educational, like, oh, wow, that's what our families went through. That's what, oh, but it's like, like, we know how bad it could be. We still see it. Like, the cop kneeling on that man's neck. Like, how evil do you have to be to know that that would kill somebody? And I think he was surprised that it took 8 minutes. And they probably laughed at the precinct because that man was calling his mama. Or all these states that still lynch people, still burn houses, burn crosses. I don't understand that part because God is a loving God. So why are you burning crosses in front of people, houses, trying to scare them and threaten them? So I'm like, I don't need to pay to see a movie about it because it still goes on. All you have to do is look at the news or see what's going outside. Like, I moved to a white area about, what is it, 10 years ago now? I don't know. My little one was going into second grade, and now he's in 10th, so you do the math. And because I'm quiet, I'm polite when you first meet me, I don't demand a lot. Like, I tried not to stand out. But wherever I am, for some reason, I've always stood out. Either because I'm different or because I'm weird, because I'm this or that, whatever. But the lady that was running PTA now runs the area that I live in. She's on the district board. She's so, and yeah, she wanted to call the cops on me. Around that time, they were still taking people out because my son left his water bottle upstairs. And we were getting finished with the Legos. I was volunteering for after school Legos. Um, and we were passing by his classroom. He's like, Mom, there's my water bottle. I'm like, baby, go get it. It's the weekend. The water is going to go bad, and the water bottle might stink by Monday. Just go get it. I was waiting downstairs. Oh, you could go. I was like, no, I got to wait for my son. There's nobody allowed upstairs after school. I said, we were just upstairs. I was volunteering. My son is getting his water bottle. First, we were coming down, and you need to come down. Because I was going to go back up with him, and I was halfway up the stairs. I just told him to go, and I came down. Like, what? You're not supposed to go back up once you come down, da da da. I said, where is that in the rule book? I said, I was just upstairs. So what, you think my son is gonna steal from his teacher? Like, what's the problem? Oh, it's rules are rules. I said, but I was just, so you mean to tell me you trust me with 30 kids or 15 kids, however many kids I was watching over with the teacher. I think there was one more volunteer. So it was three people with all these kids. And we were upstairs. While we're upstairs, we go to the bathroom. There was a couple of times I took breaks. The kids were having fun doing the Legos. They were behaving. My son doesn't really like my help, so I was helping other kids. But when everybody was cool, I was like, let me just walk outside, get a breather, get away from the noise. So I was walking the hallway. So I was like, what do you mean? I just walked the hallway when I needed a breather. You're not supposed to do that. She had the nerve to say, like, oh, if I call the cops, you know what will happen? I lost it. I forgot that the kids were there. I was like, you tell me what's going to happen. Tell me what the cops are going to do. And I knew what she meant by that. And, the rest of the time that my son went to that school, I think he only did, yeah, he did second grade and third grade there. Every time I saw her, and now she runs this area. So racism exists all around. I don't need to pay to see a movie to be reminded of how bad, because all it's going to do is make me mad. And then every white person that I see, I'm just going to be mad. And there's a lot of people that have helped me through my life, caseworkers, this and that, that if I had that mentality of like, oh, every white person is so this, I would have missed out on so much. My kids would have missed out on so much love. Like the people that were around me that were kind and, you know, they loved us in a different way that my own blood wouldn't, that my foster families, the four families, didn't, wouldn't. So, like, it would be dumb for me to get flared up inside looking at a movie telling me how bad it could be or how bad it was. I don't want to know. Now, I do want to go to the museum in Atlanta and see, but I know after I do that, I'm going to have to watch 50 like funny movies, just grab my kids and maybe watch a couple of shows with them because it's not good for the mental. And sometimes I almost feel like I wonder if the races, not everybody else, but if the races do that on purpose to keep us in that mindset, like we could really do this, like we could go back to this, just to keep us in fear, you know. So I don't like those type of movies. And Deliverance kind of felt like they were uplifting the white lady while everybody else looked broken and dusted. And like I said, I didn't finish the whole movie, so I don't know what else happened. Maybe some good, funny parts happened that I missed out. But once I saw that dad coming into that room, I was like, oh, that's it for me. I'm out of here. One moment, please. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. But maybe what I'll do is I'll just hit the skip button. It goes slowly and see what the Monique character does. But if she is I don't think she's playing a funny character in this. I'm like, is she what? Is she the black auntie, the mad black auntie? Like, what character? Or the black older sister that got molested too? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I might not see it again. I don't know. I don't know. It was just like, but I am curious about the dang flies in the basement. So I wish I could just ask Google, like, what is in that basement? Tell me what is in the Deliverance basement. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to see if I can Google the different parts that I had questions about. Like, did the grandma ever go out with that young boy? Because he was like, yeah, catch me outside. I was like, so they used a ghetto white chick's phrase for this? Okay. All right. And I don't know. It's just like, yeah, nothing makes sense. That's why I'm naming it that. But I don't know. So if you guys saw the movie, did you guys think it was good? I heard one person saying, I don't understand why people are hating. Da, 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 da. One of the YouTubers that I see, I was like, click. Not because I want everybody to agree with my views, but don't just say everybody's hating. Say what you like. Like, what made it a good movie to you? You know? And since Monique was in it had to be a high budget movie. And then the lady's makeup alone probably cost more than the whole house. And the jewelry that she had on. Or the costume jewelry, because you could tell it was fake, but still, nobody walks around like that. Not in those type of, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna try to Google some parts to see what Google says. Like, what did the daughter do? Did she work? She came home tired one night. Did she say? And I just missed it, cause it was kind of low. Like, there was some parts that were so so I had to turn it down. Then I had to turn it up. I'm like, I hate movies like that you have to, unless you're watching it. I guess I could watch it like now and nobody would care. The volume, it's high the whole time. The neighbors will hear the screams or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna try to Google the parts that I want to know and see what Google tells me, and maybe eventually I'll get curious enough to go back and just fast forward some of the scenes and get to what's in the basement, what happened to the baby when he went to the basement, never came up, and what happened to the person that was abusing that the daughter. Um, did the mama know? Did the mama believe her? Did the mama stop seeing the person, whether it was the dad or a stepdaddy or boyfriend, whatever? Like, those are the questions that I have about the little bit of the movie that I saw. I don't know. I think if Google doesn't tell me enough, I think I am curious enough just to maybe do another video about it, or just to talk about it again. Just to, because I am curious. I'm like, okay, what's this other character? Did the mom have three girls? Are they all mad and cursing her out like that? Because I'm thinking, dang, she has cancer. Like, she could have been bad, but she trying, I guess. I didn't understand the whole sniffing thing. Do they not have water? Why does the coochie stink? Like, huh? Now, I never saw anybody say, I'm going to go take a shower before I lay down. That's one thing I learned, because my dad told me that, oh, black people are dirty, da da da. When I was in my black foster family, the Hightowers, I saw different. I didn't go in thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a dirty house. No, very clean, very. So I was able to learn through life all the things that my dad was telling me couldn't be. They were. He's way off, and it's so sad that even till this day he has three mixed kids or grandkids, and till this day he's still the same way. He's still. And don't get me wrong, like, there's nothing wrong with being prideful or being like, in the sense of like, I'm proud. I'm a proud Dominican. I won't be a Afro Latina. I won't be any of that, because whatever is in my blood, that's what I'm proud of. I'm not gonna do the freaking blood test and find out I'm 5% Italian. I'm 10% Spaniard. I'm 5% black. Whatever is in my blood, that's what I'm proud of. So nobody can ever force me to be like, but you're Afro Latina. All this new stuff that's coming out. No, I'm not claiming it. There's nothing wrong with it. If people do, like my sisters do, they call themselves Afro Latinas. I'm like, okay, it must be you were born here, so I guess. Uh, but people that were born in the DR, from what I understand, my aunties, and you will never catch them calling themselves Afro Latino like that. What? That's something new that you guys made up. Trying to put us all in different boxes to figure out how black are we. Like, no. If you can't figure it out, then that's too bad. So sad. Look it up. It's not that hard nowadays. But when I came to Seattle, boy, I was telling my son, like, there was a chick that made a comment and she didn't think I was Hispanic Latin because she said I didn't have, quote unquote, I didn't have Mexican hair. You don't look very Spanish because you don't have Mexican hair. I was like, not every Spanish person has straight hair, dummy. But, looking back, uh, there was Spanish Dominican players in baseball and this and that. Martinez was here, this and that. But, you know, yeah, if you weren't into sports or if you weren't reading, there was no computers available like for every home, so you couldn't learn as much as you can now. Now you can look up, oh wow, there's so many Spanish um, countries and Latin cultures and so many different islands that we're still kind of learning about through the Caribbean, little strip thing. And so, but to be ignorant in these days and trying to still force people into what you feel comfortable putting them in a box just because you don't, like, it doesn't make sense to you. You look black, but you speak Spanish and you eat this, and so let's just call it Afro Latina. So that way we don't get confused. Well, that's too bad, so sad, man. That's the way I feel. I would never be an Afro Latina. And they better not put that in my damn stone or tombstone, whatever, when I die. I'm going to always be the proud Latina. But that doesn't mean, like, my dad thinks being a proud Latino man or Dominican man means, like, put everybody else down. He doesn't like Haitians. He doesn't like Puerto Ricans. He doesn't like Cubans. I mean, he'll get along with other Spanish people and cultures and stuff. But we share an island with Haiti. But it goes both ways. Haitians sometimes don't like Dominicans, and Dominicans don't like Haitians. Um, and I definitely felt that when I went, the first time I went to my ex husband's family's house. It was like Thanksgiving, I think. We got married in July. And we both were like, fuck the family. We're not telling nobody. The only people we told was our witnesses. One, I became really, really good friends with my friend Tish in Florida. Her son was in my son's class. They were both good boys. So we're like, yeah, yeah, let's get together. And I didn't know anybody else. I didn't want somebody from the church because I didn't want their judgment. Like, oh my God, you married somebody that you only knew for 3 months? Oh my God. I think by that, no, by that time it was 6 months. But we wanted, we talked about it. Like, he actually proposed to me 3 months in. So I was like, well, dang, I guess it's right. When you know, you know. Like, why waste 3 years, 4 years? Like, if you know, you know. Um, but yeah, and then he had one of his cousins there. He was a really nice cousin, respectful. He was just recently married, so he was asking him like, "Are you sure, dog? We could always turn around. We don't have to do this." But I didn't know that they were having those type of conversations because I went in front with my friend to start the paperwork, and and they were behind talking and stuff. So I didn't know. I probably would have got mad and like, but we needed to witness. I was just gonna say I probably kicked his cousin out, but we needed two witnesses at least. But yeah, that's all I. And of course, when my family found out, they were like, "Huh? What?" My dad was hurt, but I was like, "Well, you always talked about how you didn't like Haitians and this and that. So why, so you could talk crap about." And then my ex-husband was in a wheelchair, and so he met him. He knew about him. Like, he saw him around the house and stuff, fixing stuff. There was one time I got sick before all that, and my ex-husband, like, he was like, "Don't worry about it. I got you." You know, he made sure that my son was off to school right. He made sure we had food in the house. Like, he took care of me before I even knew I wanted to marry him for like 3 weeks. Yeah, it was 3 weeks. I couldn't get out of bed too much and I couldn't walk. And he took care of me. And he made sure that, like, he kept my little one busy all day because that little thing had energy for days. And before I got sick, um, we were, because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I didn't know the neighborhood too well yet. Um, so the only thing I knew that we could do that I could afford was we would walk over to I think it was called Miramar Aquarium. It's basically an outdoor pool. They have a little kiddie part where the sprinklers thing. My son, my little one, was so scared of swimming, but he loved to be by the water. He would sit on the steps and play with his little trucks and stuff, his water toys. And so that's what I was doing most of the time when it wasn't pouring down rain in Florida. We would just pack up, take a, take lunch with us, or go to Publix. Oh man, let me tell you something. I miss Publix so bad. I miss Publix sandwiches so bad. They're so good. They're better than Subway. They're better than Jersey. Jersey feels like they're either trying to be Publix or Publix was trying to be Jersey. But to me, the Jersey sandwich bread is super small and hard. So sometimes it feels like I'm going to break my teeth. But the public sandwich, I forgot what I used to get, but the sauces they put on that sandwich, oh man, it's so good. Hey, hey, Monty. Um, so yeah, like, yeah, and then I met him, and I was nervous introducing him to my kids that early, but I found out that we actually talked 2 years prior on a chat line for months. He was still in New York, I was still in Seattle, and I was like, how did that happen? And so, yeah, getting information, I was like, wait, you were. We both used fake names. So when we met, obviously we were like, oh, you're so and so. Oh, you're. Um. Anyways, but yeah, when I went to his family's Thanksgiving thing, I felt the judgment, and I didn't know if it was because like, where did she come from, type of thing, and mind you, when I was more in shape, I still wear bright colors and all that stuff, but I had like this skirt that I mean I looked like Tropicana walking around there. All I needed was my little fruit basket, and I wasn't trying to do that. I don't know. I got it from one of my aunts. I always admire Tia Negra. I always admire because she was called Tia Negra, which is the black one basically. But it's not offensive in Spanish. You hear that a lot. Morena, negra. It's kind of like an endearing, or la blanca, la flaca, la gorda. You, it's not offensive, but it is offensive if you call the fat one, the skinny one, the white one, the black one. But in Spanish, it's not. It, it's hard to explain. But anyway, so I was walking around with my Tropicana outfit on, and they're all like, where'd she come from? And I asked them, I said, do you think that they were whispering because they were like, where did she come from? How did they get married so quick? Like, what's going on? Or were they like, oh, hell no, she's Dominican? Oh, da 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 da. I could never tell. But they did kind of embrace me in a sense. Uh, they loved the boys, so especially Dakari was very outgoing when he was younger. So the grandma was like, "Oh, he's a funny one," and so she was the grandpa and the grandma. They weren't like it was basically Mark's dad got really attached to the Kari because I don't know. He just liked his ways. The Kari wanted money. The Kari flirted with girls to get ice cream, grown women too, and toys. So I guess he saw a little bit of, oh yeah, Mr. Pimp Daddy, oh yeah. So the Kari started calling him the money grandpa because he would always come over and bring him pennies, a bag full of pennies. And the Kari was like, oh my God, money. And then eventually he's like, okay, you bring me all this coin, but where's the green? Where's the dollars? So he's like, you take it to the bank and you turn it into dollars. He's like, oh. So, but yeah, as far as the movie goes, I mean, you tell me what you think if you do watch it. I don't like to watch them type of movies. And I think I'm gonna stop watching Tyler Perry movies because there, I don't know, at some point once he stopped doing the plays, it stopped being funny and it started kind of feeling like he liked Lifetime and he grew up seeing what he was seeing and wanted to express that, which is fine. You write what you know, or you share what you know. Um, but yeah, it is. Okay, so like Lifetime has a tendency, and I didn't notice this before. I started watching Lifetime with my youngest a long time ago. And some people might think that that's weird because Lifetime is, most of it is very graphic. We skip all that. Even to this day, they're like, they both are like, they're kissing. Oh, they're kissing. So I'm like, okay. Or if they don't, I'd be like, hey, and I skip it. But so Lifetime movies, I noticed the women are always the hero at the end. They save the day. They're the cops that come to the scene. They're like the women are always the heroes at the end, which is lovely. I'm a girl. I'm a woman. So okay, more power to you. Yes, we can, type of thing. Tyler Perry, yeah, some of the women are heroes. Like this last movie, Making Good, was dragging a grown man. And you can tell where he was trying to help. Like, okay, let me help a little bit. He's supposed to be knocked out, but he's helping. I was cracking up when I noticed. I was like, he's helping. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me that a grown man hit a woman, doesn't knock her out, she comes back fighting, which it could happen. I've done it, unfortunately. But a grown man gets his one and is knocked out for the rest of the scene? What? So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm gonna, unless I hear comedy in the title or in the ads, or people are laughing and being like, oh yeah, this is a great, funny movie. I'm not watching no more Lee Daniel, no more Tyler Perry. I'm always gonna keep my Lifetime. No matter how corny. Now, Vivica Fox, oh my God. I was so proud of her. And it's funny because now my youngest know Vivica Fox. When he sees her on some of the YouTube shows that I used to watch, they used to be on Cocktails with Queens. He's like, hey, that's that lady. Like he act like he knows her, like that's Auntie Vivica because of her movies. And all her movies have dang it, now I'm forgetting what the titles always begin with. Oh, the wrong teacher, the wrong neighbor, the wrong boyfriend. So when I see the wrong something, that's a Vivica Fox joint. So we always click on those. But we're older. My youngest is a lot smarter than I was at 15 more. We didn't have access to all this information back then. So he definitely sees stuff that it would have went over my head. Because I was still, at 15, I was still watching Murder, She Wrote like it was a true crime show. I was like, oh my God, who did it? Uh, I was still watching like, you know, Knight Rider, any older show that I was watching when I was little. I was like, oh man, he beat them up. Like I didn't see all the pew, oh, all the edits that weren't edited. But he catches them all. He's like, did you see that? That looks fake. I'm like, you're ruining the experience. We're supposed to pretend like we don't know. But it's still funny, though. It's still funny. Anyways, let me go on and take my mans. And have a blessed day. I hope that everybody's doing okay. We're getting ready for the fall. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can do like, I haven't done any professional photos with my kids in a long time. Because I kept thinking, I want to look better. I want to wait until I look better, look healthier, this and that. But I'm going to pop on a wig, kick on. Not as much as that white lady in the movie, though. And my eyes are not going to be like this. And we're going to try to do autumn photo shoot. Not photo shoot, but like photos. And I want to do a winter one too. We did one when we have one there. So cute. I have like a Christmas tree. I bought the kids. Everything that I do is so stressful. I wish that I didn't stress through life like this, because maybe I would have more years. I remember how stressed I was trying to buy these matching sweaters for my boys. I ended up finding one that had, it was like a vest sweater. They had like, you know, what's the car symbol, the diamonds. So the red one was, I found one that was for my oldest that was red. And then it had like gray and black and red diamonds all over it. Then I found a red sweater. I went to Claire's, got all my accessories. And then I had a black vest one for my youngest, with the diamonds being red. They they just happened to match. They weren't in like brother and section, brother and brother session. It's too bad because I used to love dressing them up like twins. When they were the same size at Gymboree or Navy, I used to be like, yep, give me that in that size, give me that in that size. Just different colors so they didn't feel like, oh, I don't want to wear what he wearing. Um, anyway, so yeah, but yeah, we did one before we moved to Florida. And I think it's time. It's been so many years. My boys are taller than me now, so they'll probably be behind me. I'll be the one up front. But it's definitely time for to build more memories, and so never stop building memories with your kids. And I have my cat now. I want to figure out how to include her in it. Maybe we'll match her because she has orange and grays and all. I mean, she has all the colors in her fur. So maybe we'll just get outfits to match her. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Thank you for the ideas, you too. Anyways, nobody said that, but I just thought it out loud. Sometimes it's good to talk to yourself. You find out, you learn yourself in a different way. And don't be scared to talk to yourself. As long as you're not responding back like I just did. Oh, yeah. I had a two-way conversation in my head. Anyways, so yeah, I'll post it once it's done. My birthday's in October, so I can't wait to see what we come up. I'm supposed to go on a trip. I hope I don't start feeling guilty and be like, oh, I didn't want to do that for myself, because I don't celebrate myself enough. I go so hard for my boys, and not that I'm bragging, because it's nothing to brag, it's just I'm my mom, so you spend a lot of money on your kids, naturally, birthdays. And then it don't even be looking like nothing. I'm like, how did I spend $500 and it still look like bare? Anyway, so, but when they were younger, oof, had the whole shebang, invite 20 people, and it's like, why? Why did I do that? But I'm glad that I did. But like I was saying, everything that I just remember being so stressed to make sure that my kids' sweaters were matching, make sure I was matching them, and even my wig I wanted to match. And like my oldest son's first photo shoot, it was a fall. I was like, oh, he has to match the background. What's the background? I was stressing the daycare so much. They were like, oh my God, Joanna, we'll send you an email with the background. So I went and got him a sweater that had all the colors and an overall. He was a little overall baby. He looked so cute. My oldest looks so cute, like an old farmer. He just looked like an old farmer. Oh, woe is me. Kind of like he always had that Eeyore face, like, oh, I don't want to bother mama. He was so cute. I mean, he still is, but you know, when he was a baby, he let me dress him, so that's the only reason that I'm. Mm. But I just remember because I didn't have the money going to Jamboree or wherever I went. I was planning on spending $10 on this or that, maybe $30 in the whole outfit. I probably spent over $100 trying to, because I never wanted my boys to feel like they didn't have what other people around them had, or like, oh, because he's the only black baby in that daycare, he wasn't. Then looking at the other babies, I was like, they didn't even care. Them white people didn't pay no mind. They put on whatever they put on for that baby. They took that picture. But guess what? My baby looked good against that background. So that's all I cared about. But I always tell myself, like, after stuff happens and after it goes okay, everything, like, it didn't even matter. I'm like, why did I stress so much? Why did I go through all those emotions only to find out that it would have been okay if I couldn't? But I force it, I force it, I force it. And I tried to ease up on that, but I still do it. My baby got a car. Oh, we gotta get you a steering wheel. Oh, we gotta get you. Oh, you. It's orange. His favorite color is orange. So I was trying to get him like new mats, new carpets, new everything for his car. And I was like, we have to get you a little tree to so your car can smell good. Let's go get it clean. Let's go get it. And he always said, Mom, we don't have to do it all at once. He's very good, very disciplined with his money, which I'm not. Because I'm like, you know what? You don't know it tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. Let's get it today. Type of mentality. But that's why I'm always broke. He's not. He knows how to budget his money. And like, I'll give you an example. The other day there was this orange workout place and I was like, oh, it's orange, you have to join. Da-da-da. He's like, Mom, it's $100 to join a month. That's a lot of money. I was like, no, it's not. You got it. You're working 2 jobs, you're okay. He's like, Mom, that's a lot of money. I said, but it'll help you. They have bike-a-thons, they have this, they have that. They look like they're having a blast. Like, they'll motivate you to be more like, yeah, let's go get it, yeah. He's like, Mom, let's just wait. Maybe we can go to the Y, get a membership there, and get a training, or I could go for free to your, you know, like where I used to swim at my high school. There's a gym area in that place, that community center. He's like, I learned that I could actually use that for free. I was like, okay. But I was like, but the orange place will motivate you. They'll call you. They have bike-a-thons because he likes to ride his bike. He's like, Mom, $100 is a lot. Unknown to me, he got up one day. He said, I'm gonna go for a bike ride, just down the street. He comes back with a haircut. An hour or two later, I was like, whoa, where did you go? He's like, oh, I actually walked into this gym and I didn't know it wasn't free. I ended up working out, doing the treadmill, running on it. And then when I walked out, I saw the sign like, oh, membership, da 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 da. I was like, there was nobody at the front desk to stop you and tell you, hey, you gotta pay. He was like, no, no. I mean, there was a person, but they didn't stop me. I was like, oh, because you probably look like you, you probably look like you belong. So they just probably are used to not asking questions because you just went in to work out. But then he tells me that I was like, okay, so what's the name of the place since you felt comfortable there and this and that? We're just trying to get his blood pressure down and keep his weight managed because one thing about my oldest, the doctors always try to make me feel like he was gonna be so out of weight and so unhealthy because he was always bigger than all the other kids. So in the charts, he was always in the hundreds, height and weight. Like he was considered overweight at one. They were trying to make me put him on a diet, and I was like, I'm not doing that. We just, once he starts running and walking and going to school, he'll lose the weight and he'll be fine. And so I just wanted to get him into some kind of program. Come to find out, membership at this place is $27 a month. And if I wanted to join for the next person or even my little one would be $22 if it's under his membership. And he gave me that look like you see, I told you. If I would have made him jump on that membership, he would have been locked in for a year, paying $100 for. I think it was 100. Was it $100 a month or a year? Now, if it was a year, then that's still a good deal. I might still push that. I don't know. I'll look it up again. But he's so like, I don't want to say logical, but he's not, I don't know if I'm in a rush to do things or to get things because I didn't have it given to me or because I moved so much and I got moved with a bag of no matter how much clothes or how many things I had, I always have a garbage bag full of clothes or two. None of my foster parents moved me with a suitcase. Um, so I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, that need to like get it now, or force it. But I do know it helps me when it comes to me because I'm last on my list all the time. And if it wasn't for that, I probably would never have met my family in Spain. I had to do a lot of push for that. I would have never gone visit my family in New York. I would have never moved to Florida. I would have never, moved back to Seattle. I mean, so it comes in handy. My point is, whatever you go through in life, don't look at it as like, I mean, I was just doing it. Like, why do I do that? But at the same time, it bothers me because that means I don't save the way I should. And I don't move like an adult sometimes. I move like a little kid at a candy store, like, look at all this stuff I could have. I got $5. Spend it all, spend it all. But when it comes to pushing and jumping, I basically am the jumper in the deep end and figure it out. Like, don't worry about, which is a good and a bad thing. Don't worry about the how. Worry about, don't, yeah, just don't worry about the how. God always takes care of the how. Just do it. And, pray about it, meditate on it, whatever you do. But if you feel it, if you feel something in your heart and you're like, I'm gonna start this business, I'm gonna do this and that. Don't tell to I made the mistake of telling people what I was planning to do for New Year's, and I'm still gonna do it, but and a little venture that I want to do. And right away, one of the person that I told was very discouraging. Like, oh, it takes a lot to run your own business. Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. And I wish I never told her because I am a little like there's a little less fire under me to do it. I'm still gonna do it, but the fire and the excitement like was put out a little bit. So whatever you do, just if you are gonna tell somebody, make sure it's somebody that's gonna be like, yes, you could do it, and only tell one person. Then once you do it, then you can tell others that will support if you feel comfortable. If you don't tell people until they see you glow up, you know. And then they're like, whoa, you got a house? How you do that? Well, I had a business for 15 years. Why didn't you tell me? "Well, I don't know. I thought you would see. I thought you noticed." You know? So, yeah, I'm going to learn how to move in silence because people, not that they're hating on purpose, but people can be discouraging without thinking that they're helping you think things through. They could discourage you. Like I had so many people, why would you want to move to Florida? Why would you want to be around your family again? Oh my God, that makes no sense. Oh my God. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have met people from Pembroke Baptist Church. They became my family. Them people would not go 2 days without knowing what I was up to. How can they help? Are my kids okay? Like, I felt love from that church like no other time ever in my life. They were so supportive. My uncle, the the one that run all the businesses down there in Florida, he got all the businesses. Theo Luis was so supportive and helping me. When I first got down there, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the house that I had. I wouldn't have the furniture. Like, before I moved in, my dad and my uncle made sure that the whole house was clean. The whole house, like, I didn't have to move a piece of furniture. Everything was set up. The bed was made up. The kids' bed, they unpacked some of my boxes, whatever they like the kids stuff. They obviously when they opened the box they saw the kids stuff, so they set up the system, they set up the TVs, they set up everything. And my uncle was kind enough to pay the people. The people were moving back to Haiti and they were selling everything, and they just so happened to have two kids, and so three kids, so they had three mattresses. So I don't know if my uncles went and bought frames for the boys, but the beds weren't on the floor. I had an extra mattress in the laundry room, but everything was made like they had pillows, fresh pillows. I didn't even think about that as just now. They didn't give me pillows that the people had, I'm sure. The pillows smelled fresh. The my bed sheets smelled fresh. You know, I could tell that the covers were covers that the people had, which I didn't care. I mean, everything was point blank. Period was that everything was washed, clean, taken care of. Boom! I had in a month. I had a house full of furniture. All I had to do was buy a can opener and like something to put the juice in. I had dishes, I had everything. So, and then dealing with the Pembroke Baptist Church a year or two later, they actually donated once I was married and all that stuff. And they saw how hard it was to like get my husband at the time back and forth to church with the wheelchair. And so they even thought they didn't want to just give us a car. They wanted to give us a car that had a big trunk because of his wheelchair. And so it just so happened a couple donated both of their caddies or um, and we got a call saying, hey, I don't know if you have your license or your husband has your license or his license, but we got a car. Like, so don't get me wrong. I'm never not scared doing these big things and pushing for myself and advocating for myself. But if you don't never take risks and move out of your bubble, you won't grow. Like you'll just be stuck. You were born in your hometown, you lived there all your life. That's all you know. You scared to go up the street. Like, come on now. You know, it'll force you to grow in a different way when you move about or you travel or you see different, you learn different stuff. It's good for your brain, like, you know. So that's the only way I'm able to make stuff happen for me. It's like to push it. Like I was thinking this morning about this trip and I was like, oh, my my little ones, his homecoming is coming up. Do I really need to take this trip? I gotta get him, his outfits. I gotta do so much. My cat has asthma. She's on two different type of medication. Am I gonna have money for that when I come back? And all these things. And there's stuff that I still want to get for my oldest and his car and make sure he's good. And but I told myself, nope. 2 years in a row, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my nails and my toes done for my birthday. Yee. What did I do for my birthday? Maybe I got a bottle and I sat at home. Yeah, people telling me on Facebook, oh, happy birthday. I hope it's the best. I'm like, I'm watching Lifetime, watching YouTube. Like, that's all I'm doing. There's just another day. And this year, I had a couple of incidents that I might have not made it out of. 44 was a very hard year, not only because I thought about my mom. She um, didn't get to see 45. So I was like, I don't care what I gotta do. I gotta do something for myself. I gotta celebrate myself. I'm making it over that hump. My mom couldn't even do that. So like I gotta not trying to down her or talk bad about her, but because I know if I sat at home and celebrated my 45th, I would have felt guilty. So I'm not. I'm going to my happy place, Florida, and hopefully have a great time, eat a lot. That week, I'm not going to worry about gaining weight. I'm going to eat all the foods that I've been missing out on from not being in New York, the quipe, the pasteles, the empanadas, the everything that I could shove down my throat. And I'm gonna bring 3 or 4 salamis back and some fried cheese because we can't find them out here. I wish I could bring, I might try to bring some plantains because the plantains out here, I'm definitely bringing some avocado because the avocado here are different. And the plantains here, I don't know, they seem to be scrawny and nowadays. Um, so everything tastes different back east, or maybe because it's, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know where the money's coming from, but I'm not gonna think about the bills that week. I'm not gonna worry about the kids this or that. I already had the my son's mentor say that he could help, and I didn't ask him, but he bought him a suit last year, so we're gonna he's gonna see if the suit fits, and then uh, get it fixed for him so it could fit. If it doesn't, I told him, I said I was planning to get them like flannels, kind of not matching flannels, but kind of flannels, some nice jeans, some nice shoes, and that's it. Like they're not seniors. They don't have to wear, like my oldest will probably volunteer like he did last year. And my youngest is in 10th grade. You only wear suits and stuff like that and get fancy when it's just your senior year. Like, I wore whatever I wear to church, to all my dances. I didn't care. Mm. I need chapstick. I don't know. Oh, I didn't know I was holding the phone that close. Ooh, you guys got a close up of my bite. My lip biting. I do that when I get nervous. But right now, like, I don't know. The air is drying up or getting wet. It's weird because when it gets wet outside, your skin dries up more because it's fall. It's a little cold or winter. That never makes sense to me. Science sometimes doesn't make sense to me. Because you would think it's wet outside, so your skin should be more moist because of that. But the sun does a lot that we don't even realize how much the sun actually does for us. But anyways, that's it. That's all. The movie was, I don't know, trash to me. It wasn't trash. Okay, I won't say that. But it was just like they would tease a scene with a thought. They would provoke a thought. They won't they wouldn't answer the questions that would go through your head as the normal person watching. It's like, well, what's in that basement? Where are and why is nobody cleaning the dang basement? If it's just dirty, and that's why the flies are flying everywhere and coming out from the both ends, and why is the house so dark? They gotta sit outside to have scenes with light. Why didn't they have a light bulb on or something? Like, did they not? Could they not afford a light bulb? Like, and usually in them type of neighborhoods, or at least from what I've seen and what I know, there's always a handyman around. You can, hey, da da da, I'll fix you a meal if you da 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 da. Boom, done. He would fix the cabinet, he would paint the walls, he would. I didn't understand a lot of it. I'm just like, I'm so confused. What was he trying to communicate with this movie? The angry black women cussing out the white mom with all that kicked on makeup, with brand new clothes, crispy hair. Like, it didn't make sense to me at all. So, but I'll try to just get over my thoughts, and maybe in a month or two I'll actually watch it and try to fast forward the scenes I don't want to see, and try to focus on, like, let me see if he actually explains, goes back and, oh, I'm thinking about what happened when I was younger, and and it shows up on the screen. Okay, this is why the girl is so mad at the mom. What is the Monique character, and how does she connect? And the other character, how does she connect? And do we ever get to see the kids' school? How did the kids' school? How did the kids go to a private school with uniforms? And the uniforms look so good, but their regular clothes look like they've been dipped in sweat and dirt. I don't know. Like, those are my questions. Anyways, like, share if you care, comment. I saw that I'm still at 262, so I hope the people that left, because I heard there's a few people that left, they come back. If not, I appreciate everybody that says something in the chat. Thank you, and yes, Dominican, stand up. All right, cheeky, cheeky, check you out later, later.